You've sent this letter asking Facebook to give you any information they might have about Russia-linked accounts and how they may have affected the Brexit referendum. Do you have any evidence for this already, and could you share it with us if you do?
Well, we've been very interested in the congressional hearings looking at fake news around the US presidential election last year. So we're keen to know, did the same thing apply in the UK around the Brexit referendum or around our more recent general election as well?
Has anybody brought any type of evidence to you, showed you a Facebook page that made you think, okay, I saw this in the US and now I'm seeing something here that's creating a suspicion?
Well, I think what we're particularly interested in is the operation of accounts that are believed to be fake or suspicious. Now, Facebook have analysed that elsewhere in the world. They've done it in America and they've done it in France. Around the French presidential election, they took down 35,000 accounts that they thought were linked to spreading misinformation. There's not been the same sort of deep dive done in the UK from their data.
Would it be illegal if the Russians did, just for argument's sake, buy ads, promote pages during Brexit? Are there any rules or regulations here in the UK to stop them from doing that?
You can't spend campaign money from sources outside of the UK during an election. So our rules are probably pretty similar to those in other countries. So there could have been an offence that was committed in that way. I think once we understand the data better, have to look as to whether there has been a breach of UK election law. But of course, we're also interested to see, does this fit into a broader pattern of social media sites being used to propagate fake news and disinformation to try and sway public opinion around key votes?
And why not a letter to Twitter, or is that coming down the line as well?
I've written to Twitter separately last week about use of a large number of bot accounts that were active during the period of the referendum and then appear to have been removed a couple of weeks later. But we will be seeking throughout this inquiry specific evidence from the big platforms like Facebook and Twitter, and looking at Google, particularly with use of YouTube. So we're not just focusing on one company.
If you get information from Facebook which shows there are Russian-linked accounts affecting or attempting to affect Brexit, would that be grounds for you to have another referendum?
The issue of the referendum is most probably settled, but we would need to understand the level of abuse and therefore what could be done to make sure that didn't happen again. It may be very difficult to determine exactly what impact that had on the result of that referendum, but clearly we need to understand if people are using these tools and they're using them in a way which may be likely to sway opinion, how can we prevent that from happening in future elections?